Welcome, dear astrology friends. Welcome to another video with me, Veerle, Veerle, and this video is all about December. It's all about the December horoscopes of 2025. First in the beginning, a little bit in general, and then what are the energies for all the 12 signs, a bit in a nutshell, in a concise, precise, explainable way. Now, December, when you compare it with other months, it is definitely a month where there's no retrogrades, there's no eclipses going on, there's not that much going on, but there is a flavor and an ingredient that is quite important during the month of December. The two things actually that I'm going to talk about that kind of are, I think, the most important things. First of all, it's the Mercury retrograde going direct again. That was already happening on the 30th of November. So on the 1st of December, we're really going to feel like, when it goes to our plans, our minds, because Mercury is what we think of and what is it all about and our strategy, our way of talking. So it all goes forwards, and hopefully the challenges that we had in November, we are ready now to shift some things and to change some things for the better. So that's nice with this forward energy. Now, another thing that is important is a very much of a Saturn-Neptune vibe with a lot of personal planets. Let me explain. First of all, Neptune is going forwards again. And that means that, and so is Saturn. I'm just double checking when. Neptune is going forwards again at 29 degrees of Pisces. So at the very last degree of Pisces, it's going direct again on round at about the 11th of December. And Saturn already went direct in November at the very end, like the 29th of November. Why is this important? Because these two planets are traveling together, you could say. They are at the very end of Pisces, but now they go direct. So now they have their messages, they have their understanding, and they can apply it. And oh boy, are we going to apply it? Because Saturn and Neptune together, they are going to square up to lots of planets in Sagittarius. But let me first re-explain Saturn and Neptune. So Saturn and Neptune, when they come together, they're like opposites. Like Saturn is about, I want to have boundaries, slowly but surely, please, and think about your responsibilities and work day by day. Don't take a shortcut and don't cross my boundaries. And it's also about duty, responsibilities. It's a hard worker. So it's not a bad planet, nor is it a good planet. It is what it is. That's Saturn. Neptune is the opposite in that way, that it wants to see as vast as it can. It's about no boundaries. It's about looking through the boundaries and seeing a bigger picture and seeing a big vision and having empathy and having an idea and an ideal. So it's really, in a nutshell, the realist meets the idealist, and they come together. And when they do that, when they astrologically are conjoining with each other, you could say it's not the easiest energy, because it's that conflicting energy of, I want to be real and I want to have the ideal. I'm fearful, which is the downside and the pitfall of Saturn. And Neptune is like, I'm all over the place, I'm insecure, I have no boundaries. But of course, at its best, which we want, of course, is a dream, making a dream, Neptune, Saturn come true, manifesting a dream. And do we have an opportunity in December? Yes, we do. Because this energy of making a dream come true, so having the idea, but also doing the work and the discipline and the, you could say, the responsibilities and owning it. If we want to write a book, Neptune, the ideal, we want to have a book, we want to write a book, so it's going to help people, it's going to help for the collective. But Saturn is, write a page every day, and at the end of the year or within a year from now, you're going to have 365 pages. That's this combination. So it's a beautiful combination, not an easy one, but a beautiful one. And we have it in Pisces. So we have it in the sign of letting go, in the sign of empathy, in the sign of creativity, in the sign of healing. And what happens now is that the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and even Venus, the Sun, Mars, not Mercury, forget what I said. Mars, Venus, and the Sun, they are all going to be in Sagittarius, squaring the Saturn-Neptune aspect. So it means, because these are planets of the personal planets, the Sun is our identity. So we will want to identify, we will want to do something in a conscious way, specifically also with Mars there. It's about doing, it's about getting into action, again, to make our dream come true. Saturn, Neptune. Venus is also going to square Saturn and Neptune. So again, as it bumps into Saturn, like boundaries and loyalty and responsibilities, it's also going to bump into Neptune, which is the dream, the ideal, and so on. So this is a huge opportunity in December to already, see the first glimpses of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And I'm gonna say the dates when this is about to happen. So Mars will do that first on the 6th of December up until like the 15th of December. So a big chunk of December, you're gonna have Mars square Saturn, Neptune. Then you're gonna have the Sun square Saturn, Neptune. And we'll do that around the 15th of the month up until like the 21st of the month. And then Venus is going to square up to Saturn, Neptune, and it's going to do that on the 19th of the month up until the 24th of the month. So, wow, this is all about us. When we do and when we love and when we value, we're going to have like the one week, we're going to think probably like, yeah, we can do it. And the other week, we're going to say, oh my goodness, it's work. It's a lot of work. So there could be some insecurities around the December time. Insecurities around, can we do it? If there is a wish and if there is something that you want to accomplish, and I'm going to look at that in your chart where Saturn and Neptune is, where this energy of, don't forget that Saturn has been there in Pisces for a while, almost 2 years, that Saturn has been crossing in a certain house in your area, in your horoscope in Pisces. So it has been doing the work. It has been doing the lessons and repetition over and over again. But now it's that last kind of piece of, okay, let's do this. It's like the last piece that it's not going to be that easy. It's a challenging aspect of square. It means like you're tested. It means like you're squeezed, right? But the thing is, this aspect is full, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in the beginning of next year, right? So it's not going to last forever. Saturn and Neptune are going to make a beautiful conjunction. And in the beginning of the year, you will feel it in January and in February still. But it means that off you go, the accomplishment of a dream and of a wish is done, and you can do that. So it doesn't seem like a lot is happening in December, but it is that time of the year where there can be coming up insecurities. But if we know and if we accept it and we do what we can in the moment, which is Saturn, together with what we've been doing for a long time with the Saturn in Pisces for at least 2 years. So what we did in the past, of course, that's going to make it happen, that dream come true. And Saturn is, around the 14th of February, we have, Valentine's Day, and then Saturn jumps into Aries, and it's not going to turn back into Pisces again. So this is a couple of months of really knowing what's happening and accepting that one week we will see it and the other week we won't. But the bottom line is, or the advice is, to do what you can in the moment and with the information that you have, and talking about information. So you see that this aspect is really, really important. But talking about information, which is ruled by Mercury, it's going to be more clear also during the month of December because of this Mercury going direct now. And don't forget that I said that in the Mercury video, the Mercury retrograde video in Scorpio and Sag, that also one day on the 10th of December, or around and about these days, like the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, there is information coming up for us because Mercury will be in Scorpio at the very end of Scorpio and 28 degrees, and it will oppose Uranus at 28 degrees of Taurus. So here is some secret. The last time that it did that 3 times, you know, Mercury opposing Uranus, and now it's going to be that opposition where you could say Mercury in Scorpio is about secrets. It's about things that are missing, information that is missing, and that Uranus energy is like a sudden effect. So this can make us, you know, and of course it is good, the information that comes out. But sometimes we're going to like it and other times we're not going to like it. It depends on how much before we wanted to see or not see. And it's easier said than done, isn't it? That, that for other people it might be obvious, but for the person, sometimes we just decide not to see because it's too painful, because it's too transformative, because it's in Scorpio. So the information wants to come out in order for you to do something with it. And you decide whether you do something with it or not, whether you put your head in the sand or not. I mean, it's your decision. But where Scorpio is, I'm going to also mention that in the sign, when I go through the signs, there's going to be a revelation of some sorts. There's going to be something that comes up. That was that missing piece. And of course, when you have a missing piece, all of a sudden, taking place in front of your nose, you can make better decisions. And but still, it's going to be like this energy of, okay, how am I going to do it? And I'm going to do it step by step. So that's a bit, you could say, the background of December. But all in all, as 2 big planets are certainly in November, they were trining each other. They're still going to do it, not as exact, but still they're going to do that in December, which is the Jupiter trine to Saturn, which is nice. Jupiter will be at the end of Cancer and Saturn will be at the end of Pisces. So this means a beautiful trine between 2 planets, that the planet of contraction and Saturn, of seriousness and of loyalty and of working hard and working on something that is challenging but not giving up, which is Saturn, and Jupiter, which is expanding and growing and having hope, right? So I think all in all, it's not going to be a doom month for sure. Not like other months, sometimes around December time, right? Because for a lot of people, December is not the easiest month. Remember, there are like these festivities for some of you who celebrate them. And for people who had a rough year, it's like that time of the year that slows down in a way, you know, and that people kind of think about what has happened. And it isn't always the easiest. But as I said, with this Jupiter trine Saturn, most of the people, because this is very general, you could say weather forecast, most of the people are going to see the balance between we keep what is good for us, we hold that, which is Saturn, but we also expand and grow where it is needed, which is Jupiter and the support of that. So that is a beautiful thing that we have this trine going on for the rest of the month, just like during the month of November. For those of you who celebrate these days, the 25th of December is going to be the moon in Pisces, which is nice, which is Pisces is all about empathy and it's all about letting go. And so very good for that. And healing energy. The 31st of December, depending where you are, it's going to be at the end of Taurus, the moon, and the beginning of Gemini. So a lot of talking, hopefully a lot of good foods, and a lot of talking and communication on a very light level. So that's a bit, in a nutshell, what this energy is all about. So let's get into this for the 12 signs very quick, not too long. The 12 signs, what are we going to feel the most? Okay, for Aries people, this Mercury direct, this information, this piece of information that we wanted to know is in your 8th house. So, let's have a look. When is it shifting into your 9th house? I forgot to say that in the beginning, but that is around and about, I think, the 12th of December. Bear with me, bear with me. Aries, of course, is the first sign, so they're always going to have the errors that I forgot in the beginning. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind, you know. Anyway, look, you're going to have this, which, and Aries people are not really patient, are they? I mean, I have my moon in Aries. I can really, I probably would say, okay, a little bit faster, Veerle, please, thank you very much. Anyway, this Mercury is in, I'm looking at 2026. Veerle, what the heck are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Oh my goodness me. It's December. Yeah, 12th. I was correct. 12th, on the 12th. So, Mercury in your 8th house, dear Aries people. This is a lot about a piece that was secretive for sure, because the 8th house is a bit hidden. Has to do with death and rebirth, has to do with finances that you share with someone else, has to do with deep psychological stuff of yours, secrets of yours, and that come up for you with an understanding. All of a sudden you see, so because you have been doing some work, some maybe doing some astrology, the occult, you suddenly understand what's going on. So insights, for sure, that has to do with themes of life and death can be really, really coming up for you and give you tons of information, tons of understanding. Also on a financial level. It could have been some hiccup there, something that wasn't easy for you to deal with, and now there is a solution. Beautiful intimacy as well. There might have been, if you are in a relationship, there might have been not the easiest conversation that needed to be done, and you've done it, and it opens up a lot of stuff. And it is more positive then, because after the 12th of December, Mercury goes into Sagittarius, and you see the bigger picture. Good time to travel for you as well if you can. Talking about this 9th house, there's an emphasis with all these planets like the Sun and Venus and Mars and Sagittarius that is about to square up to that Saturn Neptune I was talking about in your 12th house, which is all I could only recommend you to travel. To travel, or if you can't, to read books, to expand your horizon, so to speak, your belief system. There's something about your belief system that is activated now. And with Saturn, Neptune in the 12th house, it might have to do with a hidden pattern, a pattern of yours that you're run by this pattern, right? And you're not knowing it. And you want to get rid of it. And now is an opportunity to do, especially when you have all that energy, first with Mercury and Scorpio, of understanding the self. It could be very well on a deep level for you, spiritual level, philosophical level, that you tackle your fears and that you get rid of them, that you dissolve a bad habit, because the 12th house is also where the house of undoing. So you could really tackle that now. And it has been a wish for a long time, maybe stopping smoking, maybe whatever it is for you that you're doing that is not in your best interest. Very beautiful. And then towards more the end of the month, like the 21st, 22nd of the month and onwards, there's more likely to be a focus on career, because then a lot of planets are going to go into Capricorn. But it's like, and for you, it might be a time where you have to work harder. When everyone's resting, you work harder, but you have that reload of your batteries. Very interesting energy. Taurians, this Mercury in Scorpio, and specifically the first 12 days, because then it is in Scorpio, then after the 12th of December, it's going to shift into Sagittarius, but it's going to be in your relationship house. So for you, it's relationships. There's something about a relationship, if you are in one, and even if you're not in a relationship, someone is catching your eye. Someone is in the picture. and they're saying something, Mercury in your 7th house, that is an aha moment. Let's hope it's for the better. But whatever it is, when you do accept it, what they're saying is going to transform your connection for better or for worse. So it's quite intense for you. And after the 12th of December and onwards, you're going to have all those planets in Sagittarius, including Mercury, but also the Sun and Mars and Venus. So there's a lot of emphasis on transformation for you. There's a lot of emphasis on understanding the big themes of life, death, rebirth, shared resources. That could be because of a decision you make in the beginning of the month. There could be a shift for you around resources that you share with another person or with a business partner. There could be a lot that you have to figure out. But funny enough, you could say, at the same time, it's a wish that comes true when it comes to a goal of yours, because there is where Saturn and Neptune is. So it's about a goal that you've been working on for a long time, or it's a friendship group where you've been working on for a long time. It might have been harsher than it used to be, or it might have been just one person, but there's something that comes to fruition. And that has to do with this transformation and this battle, you could say as well, because the 8th house is where we stock our fears. It's like when we are understanding them, there is like this wish that we can do, this goal that we always wanted to do. Let's say you're in a very toxic relationship and you always wanted to, if you wouldn't have that toxic relationship, to have maybe a project that you want to start or a business that you want to start. And now there is this opportunity, right? It's something like that. I give a bit of an extreme example, but something of that is happening for you. So it's a deep energy, and it's also an energy of when it comes to earning money from your own business, that could be now a wish coming true. Because you have transformed on a deeper level, and because you have become clear around relationships. Gemini, of course, you're going to have the full moon, and that's nice on the 4th at 13 degrees. So it's a bit of your time, you could say. And so in the beginning of the month, you really have that Mercury and Scorpio in your 6th house, so also showing that there are things coming up around your health. There are things coming up around your lifestyle. There are things coming up around your work, your day-to-day work. And it's all of a sudden, and it was that missing piece of information. So remember that peak of this Mercury opposite Uranus is on the 10th of December. You're going to have a piece of information. And you're going to feel relieved, if you want to know the truth, of course. If you don't want to know the truth, that's a different thing. But and then these planets are all shifting as from the 12th of December. Mercury is into the 7th house of your relationship. Mercury is you, so you're going to be more focused towards relationships and big themes of your life. It's almost like when your lifestyle is all figured out, your health is all figured out, or the most of it. And now you can focus more on those key areas of life that you want to focus on, which is your business partner, if you have one, romantic partner, if you have one, relationships. It might be now starting a new relationship as well, and work, because this focus on planets is not only Mercury in your 7th house, it's also going to be Mars there, Venus there, the Sun there, and it is all going to square up to Saturn, Neptune in your 10th house. So this means that it's like another person who is waking you up when it comes to making your dream come true. Because Saturn, Neptune in the 10th is all about a wish come true when it comes to your career, or if you don't have a career, when it comes to how you want to be seen in the world. What is your contribution to the world? And this, so a lot of energy in the other house, you wanting to get along with someone else, you wanting to cooperate with someone else. And if you work with other people, it could mean that you have a lot of clients during this period of time as well. And although there is a bit of a tension going on, it is about finding the balance between work and between a significant relationship, or about when you have a business partner or you work with someone. It's also about that balance. Aren't you doing too much? Are they doing too much? And so on. There's going to be that shift there. But all in all, certainly you are here. If you have been working hard on your career, this is definitely going to be like the peak for you around this time of you now getting more the ideal around your job. And it's not going to be, if it has been tough the last 2 years, this toughness is going to be eased. The lessons are learned, and off you go. And you can go towards a more idealistic job, and a job that you feel good around. Cancerians, this Mercury in Scorpio, it is a fellow water sign. So this is in your 5th house where this is all happening, this piece of information. So that might be specifically around the 10th of the month. There is a piece of information that you were lacking. And it can have to do with a child, it can have to do also with a loved one, with romance, or with a project that you wanted to do. That piece of information, you have it now, and that is the truth, and that is what you've got to deal with. And but the thing is, because this trines your energy, it's kind of a beautiful flow, so to speak. So it could mean like, yes, if you're in a new romance, this is really the moment where there's a lot of good conversations, and now you know what they want, they know what you want, and there is like this good energy of openness and truthfulness and vulnerability as well. On another level, this is really if you have been dating with someone and it was really toxic, this could be the end as well. Now, after the 12th of December, Mercury goes into your 6th house again, and with a lot of emphasis for the 6th house, with Venus, the Sun, Mars, all in Sagittarius in your 6th house, squaring up to Saturn, Neptune in the 9th. So remember that Saturn, Neptune in the 9th is all about the wish making true, and for you it's about your belief system. It might have to do with some 9th house stuff, which could be abroad, teaching, learning, traveling, writing, sending messages, doing international affairs, international work. There might have been a dream there. And you can make this true now by doing a lot of effort in your day-to-day life, because all this energy in Sagittarius is in your 6th house of your day-to-day work, your lifestyle, your health. So there could be a lot of emphasis on that. On the 21st, 22nd and onwards of the month, it's more an emphasis towards your relationships, because then there is a lot of those planets are moving into Capricorn. And then it is a little bit more focus on how you relate to others and the contracts that you have with other people. But all in all, definitely a belief system, a point of view that is really materializing for you and that makes your lifestyle way better. Leos, this is Mercury in Scorpio in your 4th house. So it is there where around the 10th of December, there's a piece of information coming up for you and an understanding. It can have to do with your roots. It can have to do with your family. It can also have to do literally with your home and you thinking about the home and a piece of information that was lacking, so that you might, for instance, sell or buy a home, or a conversation with a family member, and now it all it is the truth, and there might have been some secret there, but now you know what this is all about, and you can go on with life. And on the 12th of December, Mercury goes into your 5th house, which is your house, and which is in Sagittarius, a fellow fire sign. So for you, this is a great time. Notwithstanding the fact, also Mars is going to be there, Venus, the Sun in your 5th house, squaring up to Saturn, Neptune in your 8th house. This fifth house is very enjoyable energy for you, with all that Leo energy trining with all that Sagittarian energy. So this time of more expressiveness, more you expressing yourself, more you tapping into your heart chakra, more you attracting love in your life, or being interested in the connection to improve it, to have more joy, connection with children, or your hobbies, and so on. But it does square with Saturn Neptune, so there is a dream that you want to make true, Saturn Neptune, in your 8th house. So that has to do with money. It could have to do with money that you share with another person. So not about the money that you earn, but the money that you invest, or the money that return on investment, loans, and all of that. That could have been something that you've been working hard on, and now that you can make your dream come true. Maybe you to have saved enough the last 2 years so that you can now buy, for instance, a car or something bigger than a car. But anyway, it is something that you want to accomplish there, that you've been dreaming of. On a deeper level, it's intimacy. You've been working hard on in a relationship or in relationships in general to have more intimacy, which demands, of course, vulnerability, so that you understand those fears, and that you understand that being vulnerable is needed when you want love. And this goes well with your 5th house, right? Which is also a love house. It can also mean around sexuality, that there is shifts there, and there is like things that you always wanted, or things that you want to accomplish on an expression level that is now possible with a significant other person. So it's a lot about you, and it's a lot about how you express yourself and the transformation that it will take. Virgos, Mercury being your ruler, and being in your 3rd house, you might be doing the expression of the missing link, so to speak. So you could be talking about something that was deep or that was missing, or of course also receiving a message that was very much unexpected, and that helps you now with having the clearer view, because Virgos mostly, even when the message is not what they like, they want to know the truth. And there's definitely for you a message, an email, a phone call around the 10th of December that is going to make you more grounded. Although it is a bit shocking, but you will know now where you're standing. And you like that. You like that, Virgos. You prefer the not so good news, but knowing where you stand, instead of, oh, I don't know, maybe, yeah. So that's that. And on the 12th of December, your ruler Mercury shifts into your 4th house of family, your home, when it comes into Sagittarius again. So there is like a more emphasis on home and family, on communications, maybe traveling if you go back to your home country, for instance. But also all this energy here with Venus, Sun, and Mars in Sagittarius, that is going to square up to Saturn, Neptune in your 7th house. What it means is that there is a wish coming true. Possible. Absolutely. And that Saturn, Neptune in your 7th. Which means, let's say you are single, for instance, you've been working hard to understand other people, to step by step, even if you're fearful, try to connect again with people. Or your situation might have been, and now you're finding someone. Now you're finding your soulmate, Neptune. On another level, it could mean that a business partner, you've been wanting to have a business partner for so long, and now it happens. On another level, if you are in a relationship, there might have been some challenges there, and but if you've done the work, if you've taken accountability, and you've talked to each other around serious stuff, and you didn't put your head in the sand, then this could be like the resolving of that. But in the same way, it could mean like, okay, this is it with the relationship, and it is what it is. I can't change it anymore. and you decide what you're going to do with it. It's also that kind of energy, because all of this energy in your fourth house is a lot of focus also on your emotional well-being. So there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of energy there in that house of, look, I want to be safe. I want to feel safe. I'm going to work on that. And, but with a bit of attention with another person, but at the same time, you can make a dream come true. Maybe with you, with your a significant other, you wanted to buy a home for so long, and now you have found something, not someone, but a home, and you're going to decide to move, for instance. So it could be something like that. But all in all, a very interesting month. Towards the more of the end of the month, like the 21st and onwards, it's going to be more easy for you, because then you're going to have a lot of these planets like Venus, the Sun, Mars. It's going to shift into the Capricorn, which is your fifth house, and which is the house of enjoying yourself, and which is the house also of you going back to your heart chakra and you having a good time. Librans, this is happening in your second house, the Mercury in Scorpio opposing Uranus around the 10th of the month. So there's something coming up here, a piece of information that was lacking, that considers your second house, which is your money, the work that you do, the value that you have, your own value. There's something here becoming very clear. And it might have to do also with the value of another person. So information, breakthroughs around your financial situation. And that is something that transforms you. Then on the 12th of December and onwards, Mercury is going to be back into your third house in Sagittarius, which makes it easier because that's the sextile energy. And Venus is going to be there as well. The Sun, Mars, lots of information on your third house, which can mean making a short trip, communicating, learning, teaching, siblings, neighbors, a lot of communicating as well, but in a very hopeful way, although it squares to Saturn, Neptune in the sixth. Now, what does that mean? Remember, Saturn has been in your sixth house for a while. So if you have been doing the discipline when it comes to your lifestyle, when it comes to your health, when it comes to, when you have your own business, for instance, I have to make my administration a little bit more efficient. When you have all been doing that, then this can be the time where you step up on lifestyle, when you step up on work. And the tension is in the third house, so there could be a lot more communication, a lot more to deal with, basically, a lot more hectic energy, maybe a lot more clients during that time if you work for yourself, or just maybe a lot more communicating around stuff that has to do with your day-to-day life and your day-to-day work. But all in all, there's an opportunity to have that better lifestyle. And then after the 21st and onwards, there's going to be with more Capricorn energy, the Sun and Venus and Mars. They're going to follow up in that area of your life that has to do with your home. So they're going to be a little bit more inwards around the, you could say, the last week of the month. Scorpios, of course, in the beginning, and certainly around the 10th of December, there is this piece of information that you might say and you might communicate to another significant person because of your planet, because of Mercury planet in your sign opposing Uranus in the seventh house. There could be a bit of a shakeup in a relationship. You're speaking your truth. It's off your chest, and it's about take it or leave it, right? And if it's going to be a relationship that is still needed in your life, it's still going to be there, but that it will get an upgrade. And if it's not, you could say it's done here. Of course, this is the extreme. There has to be going on a lot more than that in your horoscope if this is an end of a relationship. But there's something here that you are transforming through your mind, through your words, and also the words of someone else. And it's liberating, right? So it is for the transformation. You know all about that, right? That every now and then we go through those deep transformations with before that a lot of resistance, but when it transforms, it you go up a level. And then after the 12th of December, Mercury goes back into your second house. So again, a more emphasis on your worthiness, your assets, your money as well, and the improvements that you can do there. Talking about improvements, there is a lot going on in that second house with Mars there as well, the Sun and Venus all in Sagittarius, squaring up to Saturn, Neptune in the 5th house. What can that be? Saturn, of course, has been there in your 5th house for a while. So this could be this dream making true, has to do with the 5th house, but that costs you some money, basically. That's a simple explanation. So, or a child that takes money, right? Or not takes money, it demands some money to invest in, maybe a school or whatever it is. There's a lot of this energy going on between these two houses. But whatever it is, it's to make a dream come true. The 5th house, that has to do with children, that has to do with projects as well. You could be starting a project, starting your own business, and you feel a little bit squeezed there when it comes to your financial situation, but you're doing a lot of work to make it happen, which is like, you know, especially with Mars there in Sagittarius as well, hustling for the money and doing the projects and initiating them and doing the work there. So that could be really a dream coming true for you. Definitely in the beginning of next year when it comes to your own business or launching your own business, something that has to do with a child as well, or even a hobby and something that you want to express yourself that might now cost a bit of money to invest in and demands a growth of your talents. But whatever it is, a very, very interesting energy for sure. Now, towards the 21st of the month and onwards, there's more of a shift in communication because then a lot of energy goes towards Capricorn. There's going to be Mars there, Venus there, the Sun there as well, moving into Capricorn, which is more in the house of communicating. So you're going to do lots of communicating, maybe a short trip that you're going to do. And then that will be a bit more the emphasis. Sagittarians, of course, an important happy birthday if it's your birthday around this time. You're going to have your new moon around the 20th of the month. So for you, it's although the month starts with this Mercury, especially around the 10th of the month, this Mercury in your 12th house. So just the sign before you is Scorpio and it opposes Uranus. It could be really an aha moment for you that kind of dissolves an old pattern of yours that was connected with a blind spot, connected with something that you did that was very self-undoing. That means piece of information or something in a dream. You get the clue there in a dream, and you know it, and you understand it, and you're going to communicate it as soon as Mercury goes into your sign again, which is on the 12th of December and onwards. So then it's going to be your time. A lot of emphasis on you, a lot of energy. You will feel that energy as well, not only with the Sun, but also with this Mercury then after the 12th, and also with Venus and Mars there. A lot of emphasis on what you want in life, your life path, because the first house is literally also your physique, but it's also your life path. And I mean in general, the relationships that you want, the work that you want to do, the projects that you want to do. There's like this whole new, this is me kind of energy. It squares to Saturn, Neptune though in the 4th house. So this could mean Saturn has been in your 4th house for a while. So this could mean that when it comes to family, when it comes to maybe a parent that you had to take care of, so there was some challenge there. But literally it can also mean your home, that there were some things that you wanted to shift on the home. Now you can do it. Now there is this move that you can make. Now, because you've changed, right? With all this energy in your 1st house is like, wow, you feel, and definitely from the 1st of December up until the 21st, there's tons of energy in your 1st house. So now is the moment also to put the action forward, to also do the self-love with Venus in your sign, for sure, for sure. But also to understand that on an emotional level, it's important to feel secure. And that is a dream that you might make true now. You know, the fourth house is not always, you know, parents and the home. It's also your emotional well-being. There might be a wish come true. You probably worked hard on your emotions, for instance, not to be as reactive as you were in the past. And now you can respond because first you say, okay, you pause and then you act. It can be something like that. But whatever it is, it's a very busy time for you. And to profile yourself in a new way and to have new ideas that are connected to you, but also to your family and also to your way of living, your home and your emotional setup. Although it squares up and it's a bit of a tension to do that, you can do that anyways. And ultimately, you can have that new start next year. When the Saturn Neptune coming together, January, February, you will feel like, yeah, I've done the work, and now I can do this healing around emotions and also around the place of living that is my ideal. I can make it happen. And then around the 21st and the 20 and onwards, more energy towards Capricorn is like the sun is going to be there, and also Venus, Mars, and so on. So you're going to feel more an emphasis on your second house, which is your value and also your money. It could be a busy time for you. You could do a lot of work. You could be one of those then when most of the people, they kind of lay down and relax because of the end of the year. You go, all forwards because it's that time of the year for you where there is a lot of work to be done, and you will have that energy available for sure, which is always a good thing as well. And Mars will already be there in your second house on the 16th of December. So yeah, which is the hustling for the money and the getting things done and the really feeling also confident in doing the things that you want to do. Beautiful. Capricorns, this let's start with the Mercury in Scorpio opposing Uranus, and that's going to be in your 11th house. So it focuses around the 10th of December. So there's something in Mercury and Scorpio, something that was hidden that comes up. It might have to do with a friend or a group of friends or an association. Might also have to do with a goal of yours that all of a sudden you've got insights and you know what to do to start working on that goal and seeing it in a different perspective. Now, towards the 12th of December, Mercury shifts into your 12th house with accompanying a lot of energy in that 12th house. The sun will be there, Venus, Mars. It's a full house in your 12th house, which is actually for the Capricorn who loves to work, most of you, not all of you, it indicates a bit more towards a downtime. If you can, of course. If you can relax, do it, because this is an energy that the 12th house is the house of rest, and it's the house of calming down, and it's the house of going inwards. This energy, though, squares up to Saturn, Neptune in your 3rd house. So there might have been a wish come true connecting with your 3rd house, maybe creating a website, 3rd house, maybe working on your relationships with siblings and neighbors to improve them, 3rd house, working on the way that you think to make it a bit more practical, but at the same time, not depressive thinking. So there might have been a wish come through, a short trip that you want to do. Communicating, teaching, learning, a skill, all of that. There might have been something. Maybe you were learning a language, you were learning a certain skill. And now there is this energy behind the scenes. This could really mean preparing for an exam, for instance, or for a certain exam for, a skill that you want to know or that you want to something that you want to improve so that you can use it for your work. It could be something like that as well, because the 12th house is what we do behind the scenes as well. And it's a Sherlock Holmes house as well, with all that activity. But for others, this can simply mean that a wish come true when it comes to that 3rd house, but there's a bit of a stress with letting go of an old pattern. Maybe it's just that, an old pattern that is dragging you a little bit down. Maybe it might be something, an addiction that you have. Maybe you want to launch a new website, and but you're very much addicted to being interested in the social media of other people, and because of that you're losing yourself in that, and now you're being challenged to put your own social media and your websites on, something like that. There is a bit of a fight there going on, but at the same time there is something creative going on and wanting to be manifested in that 3rd house. That is going to be very much for you a level up, so to speak, when it comes to those planets coming together in January, February of next year in your 3rd house. And of course, around the 21st of the month, you're going to have more of the emphasis on you, because the sun will get into Capricorn, but also with Mars there already on the 16th in your sign, which is amazing. Venus is going to enter your sign on the 25th of the month. So a lot towards the month, there's a lot of emphasis on you could say the new you. There's definitely you preparing yourself with maybe a challenge when it comes to courage, when it comes to the 3rd house is the house of courage, the house of a skill that you want to know. And at the end of the month, it is a lot of like, yeah, this is who I am. This is the new me. And you're proud of it, because there's a lot of masculine energy there with the sun and with Mars. There's a lot of energy of, I'm going to start all new. I'm going to do my projects. Although you would think that most people would do that in January, right? Or next year. But for you, you might be really, really very clear about what you want, and also in your actions already doing a lot of action at the end of the year. Aquarians, this is happening in the top of your horoscope, this Mercury in Scorpio opposite Uranus on the 10th of December. This is like your work, your career. There might be a missing link that you're getting now. Maybe the reason why you weren't hired, or maybe a letter that you were waiting for, or an email. And now you know, I've got the job, I don't have the job. Whatever it is, it's transformative. And it could also mean you communicating something very important at your work as well. But whatever it is, something comes up and you can use this information in your advantage. And hopefully it's something that you didn't see coming, but that is like a good surprise for you. After the 12th of December, Mercury is back into Sagittarius, which is nice for you. It's your 11th house. And wow, what an emphasis on your 11th house during this month. And because it's not only Mercury that's going to be there, the sun, of course, in Sagittarius is going to be there. Venus is going to be there. Mars is going to be there. What are you doing with friends and with like-minded people? And I hope you gather together and that you're having a blast, that you're having a good time, or thinking about a new goal for the future already, and even taking already some actions there. If you have your own business, this is very good energy for really starting here already some actions to improve the income of your business. But it does square Saturn, Neptune in your 2nd house. I mean, all of this energy in your 11th house, which means that, and Saturn has been in your 2nd house for a while. So you have been wanting to improve and to be correct with your finances and with your worthiness and with the value and your talents. So there might be still a bit of a friction there, but there is a wish coming true when it comes to your finances as well, with Saturn, Neptune there. So there might have been, especially if you've been working hard on your financial situation to improve it, this could mean that, yeah, January, February, you're going to get what you wanted, and you're going to have the reward there. But in some kind of way, there is a friction with that 11th house. So make sure that you have the right goals and the right friends, and that it's not too much scattered, but that you kind of put this into balance between the connection with the friends and with the like-minded people, and the hustling for the money and your resources, because that is what you want to improve, your confidence, but also your resources, and you have an opportunity for that for sure. And then the 21st, 22nd of December and onwards, it's more a time for you to rest if you can, because a lot of planets are going to shift into Capricorn in your 12th house. You could be a little bit restless already from the 16th because of Mars there in your 12th house. But it's a good time to go to a faraway place if you can, or to just reload the batteries. Okay, so very applicable for this time of the year, of course. Pisceans, last but not least, this Mercury is in your 9th house in Scorpio, opposing Uranus on the 10th of the month. So there is something becoming very clear, and it can have to do with a travel, with something that has to do with abroad, maybe a person even as well, or a reconnection with that person, or a piece of information that comes out now, and it helps you to be very clear around this topic as well. And it's an information that is transformative, right? So you might like it, you might not like it, but it's the truth. And if you see that, you can really transform this, and you can really find some sort of a liberation, because this Uranus is in your 2nd house, of course. Your 3rd house of what you say to yourself. So it can be a very freeing up energy for you. Could also have to do with all of a sudden, when you did exams, or you have to do exams, things become very clear there. Could be that as well, because the 9th house is also studies, and it's also learning. Then after the 12th of December, Mercury shifts into the 10th house, the highest point of your horoscope, and stays there for the rest of that month in Sagittarius. And that is, of course, really important because there's going to be a lot of energy there. Mars is going to be there, Venus, the Sun, of course. It's all in that 10th house. So for you, you're one of those people, especially from the 1st to the 21st, 22nd of the month, with a lot of energy on work. So if you do work, it's a good time for you to spend a lot of time there, to put a lot of that energy, because it can really, really on a level of your belief system and how you are fired up to work and to make things happen, and to kind of finish up as well for the end of the year. You could really make a difference there. And of course, Saturn and Neptune in your 4th house, it all squares up to that. So it means that there can be a bit of a fight between how you profile yourself, Saturn, Neptune, right? So that you are a bit fearful of putting a boundary, but you're going to do it anyways. And now you're starting to see that putting boundaries is a good thing. And not only for yourself, but also for others, because when they are crossing them, and I speak of other people specifically at the workplace, there could be now this tension between you have a lot to do and you have a lot on your plate, but there's also a lot of like ego things going on at work. But again, you've been working on this for quite a while with Saturn there in your 1st house, and now is like, you could say this accomplishment, and certainly you're going to feel this as well in January and in February. If you've been one of those Pisceans that have said like, putting boundaries, it's never going to work. It's one of my dreams to do so, to do that in a way that is good for me and for others. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. This is a very big possibility. This is a dream coming true about you redefining yourself, and also attracting other people, of course, that are going to be matching up with you in a better way, and in a more soulmate kind of way, because of Neptune in your sign. So Very lovely. And the end of the year, so around the 21st, 22nd and onwards, there's more energy in Capricorn, which is for you beautiful because this is in the friend's house. So there could be a lot of gatherings with friends and a lot of connecting with like-minded people, you spending some time about talking about your wishes, your goals for the future. So this is quite a sociable time for you as well. But anyways, a beautiful accomplishments of some sorts around what the discipline that you wanted to, the discipline towards the self, so to speak, that you can accomplish, and that's a good thing for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I wish you all the best and see you next time. And if you want a reading, of course, check out the link below. There is the page of my website and you can find the reading that suits you best. Bye-bye.